What's going on, people? Welcome back to another episode in the Career Mode series. We are days away now from FIFA 19. I say at the start of every video, but you guys know why. Because on the 20th, it drops, and I am ready for it. 10 days' time from when you're watching this video will be out. If you missed the last episode, then you'll be thinking, what on earth is Riyad Mahrez doing in your side, DJ? Well, you'll have to watch the last episode if you want to see how on earth he signed. Alongside that, we signed Ruben Neves, and we also made the signature of Odriozola at right back. So, as I mentioned, if you want to check out any of those signings, you will have to see the last episode because we did sign them in that last episode, not this one. And so you won't know the transfer fees until then. So go check it out. Just pause this video, open a new tab, jump over, and reload a new page and go check that video out before you watch this one. How about that one? Yeah? You done it yet? Great. Well, you're back today, ready for this game against Napoli in the Coppa Europe, which of course involves the Champions League winners and the Europa League winners. And the reason this is so interesting, or to me it is anyway, was because I was looking at this game and I realised actually that Napoli were the only team to defeat us in the group stage of our Champions League. They were in our group stage, remember, as well. So it's kind of funny to see the fact that they were then knocked out in third and ended up going on to win the Europa League anyway. So in many ways, it's a bit of revenge for us. So taking them on in the Coppa Europe, and we actually took the lead. Riyad Mahrez with the finish, although it did take a hefty deflection off the goalkeeper, and he might have even taken a nick as well off of Koulibaly on the way through. Should have saved it, the goalkeeper. We saw Bird Leno have a really poor performance in the last one when we took them on in the was it the German Super Cup? But this time around, it's the turn of Napoli to have a bit of a horrific goalkeeping situation. So Riyad Mahrez scores the opening goal for us to give us the lead. And with that, we were playing very, very nice football. We get a free kick here inside the 14th minute. Mahrez involved again. Hamsik unhappy with the referee for actually giving this. Quite surprisingly so as well, because I felt it was a definite free kick. No doubt in my mind, which Riyad Mahrez was stood over. I had a little look here to see if we had any other players, which we did have a couple. But in the end, chose Riyad Mahrez to actually take this free kick. And it just so happens he was about to send it top bins until he hit the top of the crossbar. But luckily, it bounced straight back and there was Art to tap home to make it Hamburg 2, Napoli 0. So inside 15 minutes, we were running rampant here in the Coppa Europe. Not really sure how on earth Napoli were going to stop us, because the earlier stages was suggesting that it was going to be a Mahrez show. You can see this free kick ever so close off the woodwork, then hits the goalkeeper, bounces through and up. I said it last episode, I said he isn't going to score an easier goal than that one. Well, he's had another one, which he can rival. And I tell you what, for a kid who's this age, he just knows where to be, doesn't he? Because if he's not in that position, he doesn't score. It's not 2-0, but he was there, so it's perfect. I have to give Napoli credit, though. They dug deep, and Insigne, not too long after we made it 2, put a fantastic delivery in. And Danny Parejo was the man to pull a goal back for Napoli. Formerly, of course, of Valencia. Not sure why we weren't defending that. And I saw Pavard just off your screen momentarily there as well. If you rewind it back, you'll see he kind of had his head in his hands there. And I understand why, because it was actually kind of his fault, this. I don't know what he's trying to do from his defensive position. He's kind of all over the place. And then not only that, he blocks the view of Pau Lopez. So from a defensive standpoint, not ideal, Benjamin. Need to improve on that aspect of it. But we continue to put some pressure on and try and find another goal in the game. And you can see this is quite possibly one of my favourite moves that we've had in this series so far. Look how many passes and one-touch passes are involved in this move before Kostic gets in and finishes it off to make it 3-1. Rewind that back, watch it, and then tell me how good a goal that actually is. Because I thought that was one of the moves of the series that we have done so far. The passing, the intricate one-touch stuff, it was absolutely mesmerising. Napoli couldn't get near us, and it showcased it. Kostic with a finish. If we hadn't have finished that, I would have felt very, very disappointed indeed. But luckily we did, and he made it 3-1, and that was how the game would finish, ladies and gentlemen. Kostic with a late chance, trying to dink it over the top of Ballman, but unfortunately couldn't do it. But it didn't matter, as I said, because we would go on to win the game. We got ourselves a Coppa Europe, but like I said at the end of the German Super Cup last episode, this is the beginning. Yeah, we can't get ahead of ourselves. It's great to have won it. It's fantastic that we got another trophy. But we have to dig deep because there's still a long way to go in the season. So although we're going to be seeing ourselves lift another trophy, and that's 2 out of 2 in the 2 available that we had, we still have to remain focused. I mean, Papadopoulos is loving life at the moment. He got to lift the German Super Cup last episode, and this episode he's lifting the Coppa Europe. He's loving life. He's down at the pub after this going, hey lads, did you see me on TV? I'm doing the business, aren't I? But I mean, technically speaking, we conceded, so he's not doing his job. Regardless, we're lifting the Coppa Europe. That's the way it goes. And today's episode, we will also get the Bundesliga underway. But we do actually have one more signing to come before we actually end of the transfer window. And I've never heard of this guy before, but you'll see it in a moment's time. I'm actually quite intrigued because when I signed him, it did say has an exciting prospect on his little, tag thing that gives you a bit of information about each player. You'll see that guy coming up, but we're just going to enjoy these sort of shots of Hamburg winning themselves another trophy. Arp, as I said last episode, isn't going to score an easier goal. Well, he did that today. But that move, as I said, for the third goal, go back and watch it because that was my favourite move of the series so far. It was just so, so good. Hamburg champions, not for the first time, and it's going to be more of the same to come. So, with transfer deadline day on the way, we got an offer for Joe Bryan from Everton, which at this current time, we had Jordan Lukaku, Stefan Zuber, and Joe Bryan all at the club. My original plan was to let go of Zuber. I transfer listed him, but nobody had come in yet. So I saw this offer from Everton, and I thought to myself, if you give me a bit more, work with me a little bit, Everton, I'm quite happy to let him go. And in the end, we agree on a £14.2 million or £14.3 million deal, which I think is actually not that bad. When you consider that he's not going to start over the likes of Jordan Lukaku, and we didn't actually get an offer in for Zuber, I felt like I had to go and accept that. So I did. And Joe Bryan, alongside him leaving the club, it looks like our backup goalkeeper is also going to be leaving the club. But don't worry, we do have another backup in mind, one of the youth players to come out of our academy. With Joe Bryan leaving, with our goalkeeper leaving, it was time to make one more signing, and that was going to be a centre-back. It's this young man, Nordi Mukiele, a 21-year-old 6-foot centre-back who currently plays for, where does he play? Montpellier is where he plays his football. And he's actually kind of a strange player. He's got high in defensive and attacking work rates. But I think at some point he might have been a fullback because his sprint speed and his acceleration are faster than Stefan Zuber's, who is a fullback anyway. So he's got 80-something for sprint speed and 80-something for acceleration, which I think is absolutely mad. And compare that and add it to the fact that he's 6 foot tall centre-back, I think we've got a pretty good steal on our hands. And he's actually arguably going to actually get in the side ahead of maybe Pavard at some point. But it was time to get our Bundesliga season underway. Our time to try and defend our trophy as we did win it previously. And that came with our home game here against Eintracht Frankfurt. There was a start for one of their new men inside their team, but there wasn't a new start for our new signing at centre-back. So we did go with a largely unchanged side, apart from Robin is back in there from his injury. Nice to see him back in the team, which Ruben Neves, one of the new signings, very nearly got his first goal for the club. And I tell you what, he's going to bang in a few goals this season, especially from distance, because he does have that trait. But we've seen him for Wolves in the Premier League and in the Championship last season. He's got the capability to smash him in from 40 yards. So expect him to score at some stage during this season. Very nearly got his first one, but for the crossbar to deny him. Then Frankfurt on the ball. This was a really good move from them. I just couldn't get the ball off them. It was a bit like our move against Napoli. But in the end, we had to require Paul Lopez to actually make the save. And luckily, he did that. So when you need your goalkeeper, you got to have him saving chances. And that's what Paul Lopez did. And we move into the second half where we eventually would find a definitive chance. Odrizzola's great run down the right. Cut in towards the middle, and there was Arp to tap home. He's just seeming to get all these lucky little, easy tap-ins at the moment. But then there's a lot that goes into it. You've got to be in the right place at the right time. The run's got to come in and all that sort of stuff. But major credit to Odrizzola because it was his run that set the goal up in the first place. So inside the 62nd minute, we took the lead, although we didn't really hold on to it very well. Fernandez here eventually playing it through to Embolo, and Paul Lopez again, a massively important save. And then Ruben Neves doing his defensive duties, clearing that one off the line. And it was a very nervous time for us there, as I thought we were actually going to concede. And then this happened. Diop gets through. Paul Lopez with a decent stop, throws it straight out to Angel Correa. I panicked, pressed the pass button, and he went straight back to Diop, who set up Embolo. So after all our hard work, finding the opening goal, defending resiliently, we conceded. And it looked like it was going to be a 1-1 draw until 45 seconds over the 2 minutes additional time. We got another chance. Correa's delivery towards Arp. He grabbed the brace. Got his second of the game. And it's only 2 minutes, 9 seconds over what the referee said for injury time. But hey, listen, I'm not going to tell him. I'll let him figure that one out on his own. It didn't matter though, because with the final kick of the game, as much as I can be happy about this, I do have to feel kind of bad for Frankfurt, because it is the scenario that we found ourselves in against Dortmund last season. They scored a late equaliser, and I felt so bad after that game. It's the same situation. So Yes, it's nice to get the win, but ultimately there's that bit of me that thinks we've got to do it at a better time. We've got to do it in the allotted time given. Nevertheless, winning start to the Bundesliga season. Happy days. I'm going to be simming a few more games this season as well, just to let you guys know. So we started one of our sim games off against Wolfsburg to see if we could beat them. Correa scoring inside 5 minutes. Torreira adding a second. I believe we go on to win the game by 3-1 here. Torreira scoring another. Or it might have been 4-1. 4-1 it was. Abubakar scoring before Correa got another one. So doubles for Torreira and Correa. And then Porto in the Champions League. Our Champions League group is a bit difficult. Liverpool are in there, Porto are in there, and I can't remember the last team, so I'm not even going to try it. Maybe it's popping up down the bottom side. Copenhagen, there it is, on that right-hand side. And they just scored against Liverpool to make it 1-0. In the end, Liverpool did draw 1-1, as we did win by 3-2 ourselves. Werder Bremen up next in the Bundesliga, though. And back into a derby game as well we go. This will be the final game of today's episode for you all to enjoy. And if you are enjoying the episode until this point, how about a like rating? Helps me out massively in the series. So, Werder Bremen. We've already won against Wolfsburg. We've already won against Frankfurt. We just need to win this game, and it's 3 wins out of 3 games. Again, there was a change to this side. Our new centre-back came in, Mukiele. I apologise if I'm butchering his name, because I'm not very good with name pronunciations, as you guys previously knew about that. But yeah, he's actually really, really intriguing, as Max Cruz, formerly of Werder Bremen, started the game, captained the team, and scored the opener. Didn't celebrate his goal, though, as rightfully so. You know, it was his former club. He can't really celebrate. Manole's shot was the problem. Causer for the goalkeeper, who palmed it straight back to Max Cruz. And I thought it was quite classy of him not celebrating the goal against his former club. It is what it is. You know, he's got to adhere to certain things. He's actually only in there because Art did pick up an injury against Porto in the sim. So, unfortunately, he wasn't available for the game after scoring twice in the opening Bundesliga game. But as I said, Max Cruz on the score sheet. And unfortunately, I thought we had a second for a lucky deflection, but for the post to deny us on that occasion. And I tell you what, the new centre-back, Mukiele, he is... I don't know what it is, right? But I feel he's just going to be a star player at that back line. He's so quick. It's actually ridiculous. All credit for this goal, though, goes to Rodrigo Bentancur in the midfield today in place of Ruben Neves. He won a phenomenal tackle on the edge of the D inside the halfway line, and then ends up setting up Robin Manole for him to go through and score his first of the season. Wearing that number 10 shirt, he looked good in 33, but boy, does he look even better in number 10. As he goes through and slots home to make it 2-0 Hamburg, securing us the 3 points here. Happy days. Confidence is throwing through the veins of this Hamburg side, and especially through that young man right there. Is he 17 yet? He might actually be 17 now instead of 16, but even so, still a very, very young player. First in the Bundesliga, won't be his last, and that number 10, as I said, just looks so, so cool. Now, watch this passage play out. There is quite clearly, for me, at least 2 fouls in here, right? So, originally, it's a Bremen free kick. It goes in the middle. It's a corner. Watch this. They put the corner in, yeah? I clear it away. Davis here, fouled. Referee doesn't give anything. They put it back in. We win the ball back. Bentancur, fouled. Then brings down another player from Bremen. They then put the ball in. It's then sent against the post, and it bounces straight back to them as I try and take them out. And it's Hamburg 2, Bremen 1. But how the referee didn't give us any of those free kicks is a joke. And he needs a long, hard look at himself. When he goes to bed, I hope he looks in the mirror and says, I'm a cheat, right? Because that is a joke. How has he not given any of those decisions? And that goal could have, swung the entire game around. Luckily, it didn't do. And we were able to actually find a third. Max Cruz again on the score sheet. Again, though, not celebrating. He started running off like he was going to do. And then he realised where he was and went, okay, I can't celebrate that goal. But as I mentioned, it's... how the referee didn't spot any of those fouls is a bit ridiculous, in my opinion. It doesn't matter in the end, though, because a 3-1 win here does mean we do pick up 3 from our first 3, which is obviously happy days. And as Max Cruz grabbed 2 of the 3 on offer today, he can be happy with the part he played. But again, that referee screwed us over massively. One more game, though, to come your way, guys, and it is a sim against Bayer Leverkusen, the team we defeated last episode in the German Super Cup. Decided to sim it, wanted to see if we could beat these guys as well. Golovin in their midfield started the game. Havertz was the man to score first, but we do get an equaliser before the full-time whistle. We scored it through Correa, actually, and it finished 1-1. That's it for the episode, though, today, guys. If you did enjoy it, a like would be greatly appreciated. I am at work as well this week, just remember that, so I'll try and get as many videos as I can out. But, of course, guys, if I miss a day... got quite a hectic week at the moment, so yeah, hopefully you understand. Until the next episode, though, guys, if you are new around here and like what you see, the subscribe button is down below, and I'll see you all again for it very soon as I'm showing you the Champions League group stages. I'll catch you all again very soon, guys. Adios.